Hi, it's Chef and Miller Janie Pendleton. Today we're back in the kitchen where I'm going to show you how to make my gluten-free flour mix. But I'm gluten-free and I have celiac disease, and these are the things that I can put in to my flour. I'm not a vegan, so these are some things that I can put into my flour, and I've had no complaints. I mean, I feel fine with it. I've never felt better in my life since I went gluten-free. A lot of my fans have children that are autistic or have Asperger's syndrome. Am I saying that right? But anyway, this is something that you can do. You can switch your flours out a cup per cup for this. And this right here is actually a great thickener on other things like pie fillings and things too. So this actually serves a lot more purposes, and it gives you a nice clear filling and stuff. So you want to give this recipe a try. What I do with my gluten-free or my flour jars, my husband's in there running the blow dryer right now, you can hear him. He's getting the inside really, really dry because I just washed it. And you have to make sure that your container's washed and cleaned every time you make your gluten-free flour mix. Now, here's the lid. I've got it all washed, and I got it dried. And what I've done here is I've made just a little sack out of muslin. I can turn this inside out for you. See? It's just a little sack made of muslin. About the size of 2 fingers widths here. See that? I can fit 2 fingers down inside that. See that? And I just labeled it that it was my deodorizer here. Now I've got all the old baking soda out of it. And what I'm doing here is I'm just putting a couple of teaspoons of baking soda down inside of it, just like this right here. Now this will deodorize and keep the odors out of my gluten-free flour for probably about a year. I change it out about every year. And you can tie this up with a string. I just use an old bread tie or an old trash bag tie type tie thing there. Okay. Give that a good old twist just like this. And I double thickness the wall. See, it's a double thickness of material there. And let me wrap that kind of around just like that right there. And what we're going to do here with this little bag, look, it looks like a little flour bag you'd see in like at the little, like the little doll houses that you'd see, the little general store things. Okay, so you just want to take some tape like this, and you want to tape it to the lid, just like that right there. Now you don't want to tape the whole thing because this is your deodorizer bag. This is what draws the odors out of your gluten-free flours. Trust me, you'll always have really fresh tasting food if you do this. See, this keeps this part right here exposed. And this is how I make, and I think I've showed this to you before, but I don't think I ever posted the video. I don't think I have this video up on YouTube. There we go. Some extra pieces of tape, and I'm just using regular Scotch tape here. Make sure that that stays on, and you can see because I did this double thickness that the baking soda is not coming out of it, but I didn't tape anywhere in this area right here, and I wrote deodorizer on here so that way everybody would know, if this fell into the flour, what this was. Okay, here's our jar. We're just going to sit that down here inside of a bowl because we want our flours to catch it right here. Now when I put my flour in here and I put this deodorizer on the top, you want to be sure to get a sealable lid. See, it's got that little rubber ring around the lid right here. Okay, that makes that sealable so the air doesn't really, the smells of the kitchen and the things that I'm cooking doesn't penetrate into all of my gluten-free flour mixes, okay, that I'm getting ready to show you, that I'm getting ready to make. Now you can do this for your flour, for your sugar, for anything. It's just a little deodorizer bag. See that? And it's just filled with baking soda. Easy to make, fun to do. Your kids can make them for you. I just hand sewed it. Took me about 15 minutes to make it and put it together. And now I have something that keeps my flours and my gluten-free flours and my sugars from smelling like other foods around them. Especially if you're going to store this in the freezer, this really helps keep your flours from picking up freezer odors. So you can put this in any of your freezer, like your sweet rice flour, your potato flours, anything, your tapioca flours. If you're going to store it like this, just put it on like that. Anyway, that's my kitchen tip of the day for the gluten-free people out there, or for anybody out there who's having problems with odors in their flours, that they store them in the refrigerator, even if it be regular flour. So anyway, just let me know what you think of this tip. I just made on how to make my deodorizers for my flour tops. This keeps your flours fresh and from not having odor in them, especially since a lot of times you'll want to store these in the freezer. Okay? And I do store all of my gluten-free flour types. I store all these in the freezer. Just bring them down to room temperature. Give the jar a little bit of a shake. Just like this, and kind of break that up. Most of these will stay good in the freezer for about a year. I've had them longer than that, but I tried to tell you not to go longer than a year. And remember, when you're going from whole wheat regular flour and you've got all those vitamins that they're adding in the whole wheat flours and whole wheat breads and things, you're losing that when you go gluten-free. So be sure and take your vitamins every day. That's very important if you're going to be gluten-free, especially if you're an older woman like myself and you're going through menopause and stuff. You need those extra vitamins. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get started on this recipe. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure that our jar is extremely clean and dry. My husband went in after I washed it and he blow dried it out. You just want to make sure every crevice is clean and dry, and this is. So what we're going to start out with is we're going to start out with 3 cups of tapioca flour. I don't know if you can read my writing. I wrote over another label there. So 3 cups of tapioca flour. Those are half cup measurements. You know what? It might be easier for me to do the half cups. Okay, there's 1, and you don't have to be exact on this. Okay, there you go. 3 cups of tapioca flour. And again, you don't have to be, it doesn't have to be perfect. I am out of white rice flour, but I would put in 2 cups of white rice flour, but I am out of it. So after the addition of the 2 cups of white rice flour, that's white rice flour, I'm going to add 1 cup of the sweet rice flour. And again, this is just half cup intervals here. Okay. And I'm going to add in 1 cup of brown rice flour. Make sure you smell your flours. Make sure they're not rancid. Okay. That was more like 3/4 of a cup, I think, of that. Now I'm going to add in 3 cups of cornstarch. Now you don't have to add the cornstarch if you have this thing against corn or if you have any kind of a corn allergy. You can just bypass that and add sorghum flour instead. 1 cup. Two cups. This is messy, and this is why I put this in a bowl. It kind of catches some of it, I guess. Now at this stage, it still smells good. I'm going to go ahead and add in 3 tablespoons of potato starch. That's 3 tablespoons. 1, 2, and 3. Just because I need to use that up. I've had that in the refrigerator for a while. You don't have to add that. Okay, and here is, if you can see through here, my potato flour. I'm going to add 6 tablespoons of potato flour. This really adds the nutrients back into that flour that we lost because we switched from regular flour, wheat flours and stuff, to gluten-free flours. So that brown rice and this potato flour, they add that back in again. Okay. Now, when my white rice flour gets here, I'll add 2 cups of that to this mix as well. It's still usable right now. Okay, now we're just going to put the lid on here, just like that right there. No longer need that bowl. Okay. Be careful with this next step because you might want to even tape the lid down. But press on this really, really pretty hard. Push on this end, and then we're just going to take, making sure that our hand never leaves this, we pull that lid off. We're just going to keep doing this right here, and we're going to rotate it. You can use a whisk if you want to, but we're just going to keep rotating it just like this right here. We're getting our exercise. Yes. Okay, so see, I'm getting my workout. See that? Quite the workout. Okay, and there you go. You'll want to make this before you clean your kitchen because these flours they're very powdery. They do get everywhere. I mean, just that right there. That's on my dishwasher. So, all right, and there you have it. My gluten-free flour mix. And again, I'll go back and I'll get that when that rice flour comes in from berryfarmfoods.com, where I get, and I'll put that link up. That's where I get my, I'll show it to you. This is where I get my flours from. berryfarmfoods.com. Okay? And these come in 1 pound increments. I get my spices there. If you want to know where I get my 5-berry pepper spices, that's where I get those from. So just give them a visit. It's kind of a little bit difficult to shop in their store. You just kind of have to work around it, but you can. And it's pretty fast delivery. They're in Ohio, I think, and I just live in Indiana, so it doesn't cost me that much to ship their stuff. So, all right. That's it. These are good for anything from blueberry muffins to strawberry cake to breads. But mostly I use this in gravies, sauces, and stews. And this is great for chicken fingers, gluten-free chicken fingers, and things like that. You know, chicken fried steak. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this gluten-free recipe for my gluten-free flour mix. This is Chef and Builder Janie Pendleton. And remember, gluten-free, it can be a good thing. Blessings.